Hello. If you're here, chances are you're either trying to understand your relationship, save it, or at the very least, stop arguing about the dishes and the damn thermostat. Either way, welcome. You're in the right place. This isn't a lecture. This isn't some romantic fairy tale fluff wrapped in soft music and vague advice. Nope. This is real talk. From a guy who's been through it, worked with couples for years, made every mistake in the book, and learned what actually works. We're gonna talk about the little things. The stuff no one tells you. The stuff that turns silent dinners into inside jokes again. That turns cold shoulders back into warm hugs. That fixes the foundation instead of just patching the cracks. Whether it's how to listen without zoning out, hug her without crushing her spine, or finally understand why taking out the trash can be a love language, you're about to hear it all. So if you're tired of hearing, communication is key, without anyone giving you the damn key, hit play. Lean in. And if it hits home, subscribe. Because the next points, they might just save your relationship. You ever try to explain something, and your own words start tripping over themselves? That was me the other day, talking to my dad. Well, no, Dad. Look, sometimes you can, but what kind of partner are we talking about here? And then it hit me. Are we even talking about real partnerships? Like actual equals? Let's not kid ourselves. Most people who say they're partners with someone, especially when it comes to relationships, aren't really partners. You got men calling themselves partners while their girlfriends are carrying all the weight, emotionally and otherwise. Or the reverse, guys just floating along, thinking they're contributing, when they're just background noise in a two-person movie. Now raise your hand. Do you actually have a partner? A man who shows up, muscle and all? Not just for the heavy lifting but emotionally, mentally? Not just one who posts photos with you, but one who actually builds with you. Yeah, I thought so. And you know what else? That whole idea. Partners should be equals. Yeah, it sounds good on paper. Very modern. Very European. But let's be honest, it doesn't always work in real life. Especially not in business, not in family, and definitely not in love. Here's the kicker. You will never be true equals with a woman. Not because one is better or worse. No, I don't believe in that. I'm not asking you to compare a crocodile to a squirrel. They're not better or worse. They're just different species entirely. Same with men and women. You can't expect matching energy when our wiring runs on different voltages. A woman trying to be equal with a man often ends up clawing for scraps, trying to squeeze out at least a sliver of partnership. Best case? She walks away with 50%. And let's be real, even that's rare. But when she leans into being a woman, when she lets that feminine power breathe, not only does she get 100%, the man actually feels lucky to give it. That's what people don't get. They think equality is the goal. But true power comes from polarity, two forces meeting and respecting what makes each one unique. So yeah, partnerships aren't equal, and they're not supposed to be. That's not a weakness, it's nature. A walrus and a hummingbird don't date for a reason. Now don't get me started on the whole carry 6 bags of groceries like a hero mindset. What's the point? Ruin your back? Wrinkle your car seats just to prove you're strong? Nah, pass. That's ego, not purpose. And now, point 6 in my unofficial list of how not to crash a relationship. Give her flowers. Not for a birthday. Not for Valentine's. Just because. For no reason at all. Look, if you miss March 8th or whatever big calendar day, yeah, you probably deserve a cold stare. But giving flowers, just because, hits different. That's real romance. But here's a tip. Learn what she actually likes. Don't just grab a crusty bouquet of roses at the gas station. You think carnations will do the trick? Please. That's for guys stuck in the past. Me? I once bought flowers I couldn't even pronounce. Didn't know how to take care of them either. She told me their name once, and I forgot it 5 seconds later. But she said it again later, humming the name like a song, and suddenly my brain locked it in like it was my childhood password. See, that's how it goes. You show up, you try, even if it's messy. That effort, that attention, it sticks. You know what? I actually don't mind buying flowers. I don't do it often, but when I do, it works. I mean, you set a reminder on your phone, pick up a bouquet once a month, and boom, instant upgrade to your relationship without saying a word. Doesn't cost much either. Just a few bucks and suddenly, she's glowing like you bought her a house in Malibu. Meanwhile, you're still trying to pay off your mortgage one slow year at a time. Lilacs, fir branches, daisies. I don't always know the names. But she knows. And she remembers. So yeah, flowers matter, even if I don't know a peony from a pine cone. Now, 7th thing. Plan the weekend before Friday hits like a freight train. Don't just wake up Saturday morning and ask, "So what are we doing?" Nah, man. She wants structure. She craves peace. She wants to know not just where the weekend is going, but honestly, where the next 20 years are headed. You don't need a vision board, but at least map it out a bit. Even if things change, at least you had a plan. And please, when she's talking about her weekend expectations, listen. Like really listen. Don't zone out like she's reciting the terms of your car lease. She doesn't want to rehash how she burned out in sales 6 years ago. She just wants you to care about how she feels right now. Here's another thing I've learned the hard way. Don't isolate your woman from her friends. You think they'll corrupt her? Like she's a hard drive getting infected from too many brunches? Relax. Let her have her circle. Her friends aren't the enemy. They're the emotional airbag that deploys before she crashes into you with everything she's been holding in. Trust me, it's better for her to cry into a pillow while talking to her friend Melissa than for her to unload on you at 11:47 p.m. over something you forgot 2 months ago. And yeah, maybe it's easier for you to hear about Kadia's friend's dramatic life crisis than to face your own wife's emotional hurricane. That doesn't make you weak, it just means you're human. So don't be jealous of her girl talk. Accept it. You'll never replace her friends, and you shouldn't try. Point 8. Help out sometimes. Not because you have to, but because it makes life smoother. And if she's tired or just in a mood, step up. It could be washing a couple of dishes, throwing in some laundry. Simple stuff. Now look, we all have our own roles. I'm not saying you gotta become Mr. Clean. But if she works hard, emotionally, mentally, physically, then she's bound to hit a wall sometimes. And even if her job is remote or she's working from home, that doesn't mean she's not drained. Sitting in front of a screen all day can fry you just as bad as laying bricks. She wakes up. She gets things done. That's her rhythm. That's her DNA. And yeah, you may have remodeled the floor or bought her a nice appliance, but that doesn't mean she stops being on call 24/7. Here's the truth. There's always something to do at home. You think she's just lounging around while you're working hard? I dare you, vacuum the place. I did once. Thought it'd be quick. Found more fluff, hairballs, and lost toys than I care to admit. You never see the mess until she's gone. Then suddenly you're standing in front of the fridge wondering how long that mold's been there. That's when it hits you. She doesn't sit around. She runs the whole show. So when you help, don't act like you're doing her a favor. It's not heroic. It's normal. It's called being a grown man in a grown-up relationship. Now I get it. Some guys say if they stay home more than 4 hours, they start to unravel. Not counting sleep, of course. But there's truth to that. A man needs to do things. He needs movement, purpose, direction. Sit around too long, and your energy starts melting into the couch. So yeah, get out. Get to work, fix something, build something, chase something. Just don't stand still too long. Because when you stop moving, you start fading. And you weren't built for that. You've got to give them. No shortcuts, no. I'll do it later. If you want to keep your woman grounded in love, you better learn how to make her feel seen, consistently. But let me be clear, don't be awkward about it. Saying, "Hey, you look athletic today," isn't a compliment, it's a confused Yelp review. You gotta practice. Complimenting her shouldn't feel like trying to disarm a bomb. If you know how to do it, say it. If you don't, learn. Because if you're not telling her she's beautiful, brilliant, incredible, Well, what are you even thinking? That she's just playing with her hand and zoning out? No, man. She's feeling everything. And if you stay quiet, she starts wondering what's wrong. And here's the real kicker. If you're not saying it, she's not hearing it. And if she's not hearing it, she starts believing the silence. It doesn't matter if she's stunning and sharp as a tack. If you call her dumb, she'll feel it. If you say she's not enough, she'll internalize that. Women's self-worth doesn't come factory installed like ours might. It's built, word by word, compliment by compliment, from the outside in. So it's not just your job to tell her. It's your job to make sure the people around her do too. If her circle isn't lifting her up, get her out of it. But that's a whole other conversation for another day. Now, point 10. A woman becomes happy when she feels respected, especially when she's angry or upset. Let that settle for a second. It is completely normal, expected, even, for a woman to get upset, to feel things, to cry, to yell. You can't treat her like a toddler who needs a timeout. That's not love. That's babysitting. A mature man understands this. Her emotions don't need to be fixed. They need to be heard. Condemning a woman for being emotional is like getting mad at the sun for setting. It's biology, not betrayal. And no, she's not being dramatic. She's just being real. You want a woman who never cries, never vents, never raises her voice? Then you want a robot, not a partner. The more she feels, the more she feels. That's life. That's fire. That's feminine energy at full throttle. Now I get it. Every man thinks, man, she used to be normal before. What happened? But maybe it's not her that changed. Maybe it's you trying to tune her like a guitar. Tighten this, adjust that, get her just right. Only problem is, no matter how many times you tune her, she'll go out of tune again. That's how it works. You don't fix a woman. You learn to play the music even when it sounds a little sharp. Happiness for a man? It's simple. Peace. Nobody bothers you. Nobody nags you. Just you, a drink, and maybe some quiet. But happiness for a woman? That's a symphony. It's complicated. It needs space to breathe. She's got a world of feelings tumbling around inside her like a dryer full of bowling balls. Let her vent. Let her be. You will thank yourself later. Now, if you're planning a trip, listen closely. You gotta leave space for her opinion. Don't just book flights and call it a day. Let her be late. Let her change her mind. That's how she processes time, emotionally, not by the clock. You want to hang out with friends at 7? Cool. She's getting ready by 6, maybe. Maybe 6:45. Maybe not at all. And that's fine. The earlier you accept that life runs 5 to 90 minutes behind when she's involved, the longer your sanity will survive. I remember this one time. We had a plan to meet some friends. By the time we pulled out of the driveway, we'd gone from ready to go to half a divorce and back again. Just over socks and eyeliner. But hey, we got there. That's married life. Sometimes it's less about where you're going, more about how you arrive. And fellas, pro tip, if you're heading out shopping, make sure her phone's charged, she's got her notebook, her lip balm, and maybe some movies downloaded on her tablet. I've got a whole system now. I walk into a store, find the comfiest couch in sight, pop open the tablet, and boom, I'm living like royalty while she tries on half the store. That's marriage. That's partnership. You learn to wait without losing your mind, and she learns to love you for your patience. And you know what? I wouldn't trade it for anything. Point 12. If you're running late, call. Seriously, just pick up the phone. You've got it in your hand anyway, probably scrolling through stuff you won't even remember tomorrow. All it takes is a quick, "Hey, I'm running behind. I'll be there soon." It sounds small, but to her, it's not. It's a love language. It tells her she matters enough for you to pause your day and keep her in the loop. That little gesture? It buys you more trust than showing up with an apology and a wild excuse. You don't even need to do anything heroic. Just dial. That's it. I get it. Back in the day, you had to sprint 3 blocks to find a payphone, hope it worked, dig out some change, maybe sweet talk the operator. But now, you're literally one button away from being a legend. So just make the call, man. Give her that simple bonus. It costs nothing and pays big. Point 13. When she asks for help, don't turn it into a guilt trip. Let me say this plain. If your wife asks you for something, it's not an attack on your independence. She's not trying to test your limits. She's asking because she needs something. And you're there, right? So be honest. Say yes or say no, but don't make her feel bad for asking. Because the moment you start throwing guilt her way, "Can't you see I'm busy?" or "Why can't you just handle it?" you're planting a seed. And eventually, she stops asking. She just swallows it, takes on more, and you think that's convenient, until it isn't. Until she burns out, shuts down, and the connection gets real quiet. Think about this. You used to love it when she relied on you. It made you feel needed, like a man. So what changed? Nothing. Life just got louder, and you forgot how good it feels to show up for the woman who still believes you can. Now, if you can't help, just say it straight. "I'm tapped out right now," or "I need a few minutes." That's fair. Just don't shame her for asking. She didn't find you in a help-wanted ad on a street corner. You're her partner. Help if you can. And if you can't, say it with some grace. Point 14. If her feelings are hurt, show compassion. Here's where a lot of men mess up. We want to fix things. We think if she's sad or angry or hurt, our job is to give a speech, crack a joke, or explain why she shouldn't feel that way. Wrong. Your job in that moment is simple. Feel with her. You don't need to solve the puzzle. You don't even need to understand all the pieces. Just say, "I'm really sorry you're feeling this way." That alone, those words, are gold. Don't try to convince her it's not a big deal. It is to her. And that's enough. A little empathy goes a long way. And by the way, this is still cheaper than flowers. Although, if you've got the budget, throw in the flowers too. That combo? Man, that's a home run. And yeah, maybe you're still living in 1987, when roses were $5 and came with a smile. Times have changed. So either evolve, or, better yet, start your own flower business if it bugs you that much. Bottom line, love isn't about grand gestures. It's about the small things, done consistently. Call when you're late. Help without resentment. Validate her feelings without trying to rewrite them. You don't need a degree in psychology. Just a little emotional maturity, and a whole lot of presence. Point 15. Sometimes, a man just needs to be alone. Look, we don't always talk about it, but every guy, sooner or later, hits that moment where the noise is too much, the world is too loud, and the only thing that makes sense is space. Not forever. Just for a bit. We're wired that way. When something's bothering us, when there's a pressure we can't quite name, our instinct isn't to talk it out right away. It's to pull back, disappear into our own mental man cave, and chew on the problem from the inside. That's not avoidance, it's processing. But here's where most of us screw it up. We don't say anything before we vanish. You just go quiet, walk off, sit in the garage, pace around the backyard like a confused security guard. Meanwhile, she's over there thinking, "What did I do wrong?" She'll try to follow you in, not to nag, but to fix, to help, to clean the metaphorical cave. And then you snap. Not because she did something wrong, but because you didn't explain what was going on in your own head. So next time, do this. Say it out loud. "Hey, I need to be by myself for a bit. Just need to clear my head. It's not about you." That one line? It can save your relationship. And for the ladies reading this, please don't take it personal. Men don't retreat because they stopped loving you. They do it because they don't know how to carry the weight out loud. Give him that hour, that day, that weekend, whatever it is. Let him recenter. He'll come back stronger. And when he does come back, here's the part that separates the men from the boys. You say something. You don't pretend nothing happened. You apologize if your silence hurt her, even if that wasn't your intention. You tell her, "Thanks for the space. I'm good now." Now, Here's a funny twist. Women don't do this the same way. When they're overwhelmed, they want people around. Talking, hugging, venting, it helps them breathe. So it's hard for her to understand why you need quiet. To her, silence feels like punishment. But for a man, silence is surgery. And yeah, I've seen guys who don't know how to retreat in a healthy way. Instead of sitting with their thoughts, they numb themselves, booze, distractions, disappearing into nonsense. That's not retreating. That's self-destruction. You want to go into your cave. Do it right. No bottle, no excuses. Just sit in it. Think. Breathe. Don't rush the process, but don't live there either. Me, I've learned to do it clean. I don't need a drink. I don't need a drama. I've got a chair, a quiet room, maybe some bad jazz or the hum of the ceiling fan, and I sit. That's it. No big secret. I just don't tense up in the first place. It took me 20 years to learn that. Some folks still haven't. But once you do, man, it's like having a reset button for your entire system. Point 16. Well, we'll get to that. But the point is, if you're a man, own your space. If you're a woman, respect his silence. That's not distance, it's recalibration. And if you both get that, you're already ahead of the game. Point 16. When you finally come out of your cave, communicate. So you've had your time to think, to breathe, to be alone. You've processed whatever was eating at you. Now what? Now you owe her something. Clarity. You don't need to give her a full TED talk with charts and timelines. But you do need to speak honestly, calmly, and with enough weight that she doesn't jump to the worst possible conclusion. Tell her, hey, I had something on my mind. It was weighing on me, and I needed space to work through it. But it's handled now. That's it. Don't drag her through every detail, especially if it's not her burden to carry. If you throw the whole mess in her lap, she'll carry it like it's hers. And she won't be able to stop. Women don't just hear problems, they feel them. On the other hand, if you don't say anything and just act like nothing happened, she'll fill in the blanks, and brother, I promise you, her imagination is worse than reality. There's a rule I give women, too. If you don't want to overthink, talk. When a woman goes silent, that's when her thoughts start spinning out of control. It's not quiet. It's a hurricane. So fellas, do her a favor. When you reappear, say something. Even just enough to let her exhale. Point 17. For the refined souls out there, don't waste the fireplace. Now this one's for the guys who spent a chunk of change building that dream home with a fancy fireplace, and then forgot it exists. You know who you are. You told everyone at the barbecue it was a feature, but it's never once seen a real flame. Here's my tip, light the thing. Not just for heat, for atmosphere. Fire has a way of calming a room, softening tension. You ever sit next to a fireplace during an argument? It's hard to fight next to something that beautiful. Fire quiets the noise. And yeah, go ahead, let her light it sometimes. Even if you could do it faster. Let her feel the warmth in her hands, and the peace that comes from watching something simple, steady, and alive. Just don't let a $40,000 fireplace turn into a fancy shelf. Use it. Sit next to it. Talk next to it. Or just be quiet together. Fire doesn't need commentary. Point 18. When she talks, actually listen. Look, if she's opening up to you, put the remote down. Close the laptop. Mute the game. You don't need to be a therapist, just present. Give her your full attention. We've talked about this already, but it's worth repeating. Nothing tells a woman, you don't matter, faster than distracted listening. So when she speaks, be there. That alone can change everything. Point 19. Always thank her for the meal. Simple rule, always thank her for the food. Even if it's leftovers. Even if you weren't that hungry. Say thank you. And here's the trick. Don't just say it, show it. You want bonus points? Offer to wash the dishes. Don't demand. Don't bark it out like a commander. Just lean in with, that was amazing! Can I take care of the dishes tonight? Most of the time she'll wave you off, say, no need, But the offer means more than you know. And for the record, yes, in a traditional household, maybe dishes are her thing. But in a partnership, we share the weight. If we both eat, we both clean. If we both work, we both rest. You split the bills, you split the chores. That's what balance looks like. And to be truly fair? Well, if men had to do the dishes, maybe one day we'd take a shot at childbirth too. That's partnership, right? But seriously, just offer. Every time you show appreciation, you're putting gas in the tank of the relationship. It's not about the plates. It's about the respect behind the gesture. Point 20. Dishes aren't hard if you don't let them pile up. Let's be real. Washing dishes isn't rocket science. Unless you're hosting a family reunion for 70 and using the same 6 plates for all of them. Then yeah, you've got yourself a full-blown operation. But for 2 or 3 people, we're talking 10 plates, maybe a pan or 2. That's 3 minutes of your life. Here's the trick. Wash them right away. That's the key. Don't let the spaghetti sauce fossilize. Don't give the ketchup time to bond with the ceramic like it's trying to become part of the plate's DNA. Now buckwheat? That one's sneaky. If it's fresh, you can rinse it clean without breaking a sweat. But if it's dried on? Congratulations. You're now performing an archaeological dig on your dinnerware. Also part of point 20, pay attention to your wife's energy. If she looks wiped out, don't ignore it. Don't assume it'll pass or that she wants to handle everything solo like some domestic superhero. Ask her, what needs to be done? And when she tells you, help. Not because it's your duty, but because that's what love looks like in the real world. You don't need a cape. You just need to grab a mop, fold some laundry, or handle whatever's got her looking like she just lost a boxing match with the day. Trust me, helping out, even in small ways, goes further than you think. She comes home, the sink's clear, the floor is swept, the chaos is under control, and suddenly, your place feels like a little sanctuary, not a war zone. Even if there's still 5 dishes left in the sink, she'll notice what you did, not what you missed. Point 21. Before you leave the house, ask if she needs anything. Simple move, powerful effect. You're heading out? Keys in hand? Just ask, hey, do you need anything from the store? 9 times out of 10, she'll say no. But that 10th time? You save her a whole trip. It's the thought that matters. And here's something most men don't say out loud. Grocery shopping? That's not just her job. It's a household job. That means you, my friend. If you live there, eat there, breathe there, you should know what's in the fridge and what's missing. Budgeting lists all of it. If she does the shopping, and you don't even know how many eggs you have, that's not partnership, that's freeloading. I've made it a habit. I do most of the shopping. Why? Because I want to know what we're working with. I don't do surprise runs or impulse buys, like some medieval hunters stumbling into Whole Foods. I follow the list, but yeah, sometimes I wander and grab something new. Like those weird artichokes? Never bought them before. Thought, hey, maybe we'll try it. 6 types of buckwheat on the shelf? I'm not out here doing grain experiments. I just want the buckwheat. Moral of the story, know what you're buying. Stick to the list, but don't be afraid to explore a little. Just don't blow half your paycheck trying to be. Point 22. Men need it written down. Seriously. Here's a little secret, ladies. And I know it might not be groundbreaking, but it's real. If you ask a man to do more than 2 things at once, write it down. I'm not saying we're slow, but listen, our heads are full of tabs already open. Half of them are buffering. You tell us to give milk, we'll give milk. Maybe add bread, and that's pushing it. 3 things? We're officially playing memory roulette. Now if you've ever sent a guy to the store, and he came back with milk, paper towels, and a confused expression, you get what I'm saying. He's not being difficult. He's just not a multitasker by nature. Write it down, and you'll both be happier. Also part of point 22. Keep her informed. It means more than you think. Whether you're going to bed, heading out to run errands, or just stepping into the garage to take a breath, say something. Let her know. "Hey, I'm heading to bed." Or, "I'll be back in 30. It's not about control, it's about care. She just wants to know where you are. It's comfort. It's safety. It's love in a simple sentence. And trust me, when you do that, she files it away in this quiet little box labeled "He thinks of me." That box? It fills up slowly, but it makes her feel secure. Point 23. Hug your wife. Often. Not once a week. Not just when you want something. I'm talking 4 times a day, if you can swing it. Now I know, not everyone's into hugs. But physical touch? It speaks volumes without saying a word. And fellas, go gentle. I know some of us are built like linebackers, and she's maybe 5'2". You don't want your hug to feel like she's been hit by a freight train. Pay attention. You're not squeezing drywall, you're holding your woman. Some women are small, delicate, and they carry a lot of stress in silence. That hug might be the first time all day she feels like someone else is holding her up for a change. So yeah, hug her. And if she's not into physical affection, ask her what does make her feel safe and loved. But start with a hug. That's the default setting. Point 24. Call your wife just because. This one? Gold. Pick up the phone during the day, yes, even during work, and just say, "Hey, thinking about you. How's your day going?" That's it. Doesn't have to be poetry. Just a check-in. Maybe you saw something funny, or remembered something sweet. Share it. Set a reminder if you have to. I do. Because once I dive into my day, my brain's in tunnel mode. But that call? That's more than a call. It tells her she's not an afterthought. She's part of your day, not just your night. And fellas, don't worry. This isn't about losing focus. It's about building connection. You'll work better when she feels seen. Point 25. Tell her you love her. Over and over. No, it doesn't get old. No, she doesn't. No, already. And no, there's no such thing as saying it too much. Every woman wants to hear that she's loved, that she's beautiful, and that she still lights you up inside, even if she's in pajamas and a bun with yesterday's mascara. That's when it matters most. Here's what you should be saying to your woman every day. 1. How much you love her. 2. What you've done for her. 3. What you plan to do for her. That's your script. Everything else, taxes, socks, car oil, save it for your buddies or your to-do list. Now if you're a man, I know you've got the urge to brag. We all do. And you should, but brag to your wife. Not about random stuff, but about the things you've done for her. That's where your pride belongs. Did you fix something? Surprise her? Handle business? Good. Tell her. She'll love you for it, and it'll remind you what kind of man you are. Because here's the truth, if you've got something worth being proud of, and no one to share it with, what's the point? Let her be the audience to your victories. Not the general public. Not your followers. Her. Point 26. Suggest something thoughtful, even if it's not your job. Look, you're not obligated to make the bed, fluff the pillows, or fold the sheets like you're auditioning for a 5-star resort gig. But every now and then, suggest it. Offer it. Not because it's your job, but because you want to do something nice for her. Say, "Hey, want me to remake the bed?" Or, "Want me to take care of that?" She might shrug it off. Or if she's having a rough day, she might throw you a sarcastic, "Well, you did it once, now you can always do it." Ignore the sarcasm. Offer anyway. You'll be surprised how often that simple gesture earns you serious points. Sure, 70% of the time she might play it cool like it didn't matter, but in her mind, that little thing just landed in her. Reasons I love this guy. Jar. And when she pulls out that imaginary metal box and adds one more to the collection, you'll be glad you offered. Even if she doesn't say it, she notices. Women always notice. Now about the bed thing. Let's be honest, fellas. Have you seen a single guy's bed? It's a mess. The kind of mess that looks like it's recovering from a tornado or a bad night of sleep and frozen pizza. I used to serve in the military. I know how to make a bed so tight you could bounce a coin off it. But here's the real question. Who cares if it looks neat if it doesn't feel right? Beds aren't just decor, they're comfort. Women get that. Most of us don't. But it matters. The way a home feels? That's the bedrock. Literally. Also in point 26, talk about your efforts and include her in your thoughts. When you've done something, share it. When something's on your mind, bring her in. It doesn't need to be dramatic. Just say, "Hey, we were arguing at work about whether certain things are men's jobs or not. What do you think?" That's not just small talk. That's connection. Ask her opinion. Open the door. Let her laugh, challenge you, maybe roll her eyes, but deep down, she'll appreciate being part of your world. Point 27. Laundry, don't dump, prep. Okay, technically, laundry might not be your job. But if you live together and wear clothes like the rest of us, you should at least prep your own stuff. Turn your socks right side out. Empty your pockets. Don't toss everything into the machine like it's a raffle bin and hope for the best. You ever had a ticket stub disintegrate in your jeans pocket and turn into lint shrapnel in the dryer? Yeah, me too. It's like cotton confetti exploded all over your life. So be smart. Check your stuff. Respect the machine and the woman running it. It's a small act, but trust me, it says you're not 10 years old anymore. Point 28. Take out the trash without being asked. Taking out the trash is one of the easiest ways to rack up bonus points in a relationship. Seriously? It's not glamorous, but it's solid. Yeah, ideally the bag's tied, ready, and waiting near the door. But sometimes it's still under the sink, leaking judgment and chicken juice. Just do it. No announcement. No parade. Just handle it. You do it a few times, and she won't have to ask. That's when you're winning, when she knows you'll handle something without it turning into a 5-step negotiation. And for the guys who travel a lot, when you arrive somewhere, call her. Let her know you landed. Don't assume she'll see it on a flight tracker or wait for the news ticker. Just a quick, "Hey, I'm here. Everything's good." It's not about logistics. It's about making her feel secure. Like someone still checked in. Like she still matters, even when you're halfway across the country. Doesn't matter if you're flying to Austin or through Istanbul with 3 layovers. If your plane didn't get shot down, let her know. And even if your mind's spinning from the trip, call, text, send a voice note. Something. "Hey, if you've made it all the way here, let me just say, thank you." That tells me you care. You're not here just to listen. You're here to grow, to learn, maybe even to say something that matters. And that's powerful. But this is just the beginning. There's more coming, more real talk, more practical steps, more of those eye-opening moments that'll help you not just patch up your relationship, but truly fix it from the inside out. So if this resonated with you, if it made you smile, nod, or maybe even shift a little in your seat, go ahead and subscribe. Because what's coming next might just change everything. Until then, take care of yourself. And take care of each other.